once you've been going through organized stalking and gang stalking and these forms of covert harassment and surveillance, which something that is organized to this degree, this is not organized or set up by regular people. This ain't organized and set up by some dude from down the road. This isn't organized and set up by a random person who just decided to put in this much effort. Once you see that this is a methodical and systematic form of oppression, and there's groups, like secret societies, cults, people within the government system and these agencies and government officials and people in higher positions, once you really see these things like for what they are and you observe the way everything's so methodical and just planned out, things are orchestrated, and the noise campaigns, all these psychological things just to prime you. Once you see how this is very premeditated in nature, then you'll understand like this isn't just something that a random group of clowns or dummies just put together like a hate group to stop you. Like, this involves higher entities within the government system, and like this is like a hierarchy. So the people at the ground level, those are really like the useful idiots, just the perps who they're here to carry out the orders of the hand, the hand pulling the strings. They're just the puppets for the hand pulling the strings. And that's really all this is. So, for example, there's a lot of people who live in my area, and now I feel like I'm fully like in tune. I feel like my energy is like I'm tapped in like fully more than I was back then, at least. And it becomes very clear to you that you're like living in like a Truman Show setting. Like, they place targeted individuals in these, narcissistic families that, some of y'all were switched at birth. That's what I believe. But then again, some of us weren't, and our family are just narcissists who are going to join the establishment and work on their behalf to target and purpose. But you see how fake all this is, really. Like, you see how many people don't have a job. You see how many people stay home. At every house, if one person works all day, there's at least one person at home. You know what I mean? And you see how the environment reacts to you being in the setting or in that environment or certain places. You see how scripted and Truman Show-like and fake it really is. Like, you know that your neighbors aren't just regular people. Like, these people are put there, especially if you had all these vacant houses and people moving out. Like, I know the majority of people that moved in on these streets, they're all perps. You know what I mean? They all got the one headlight. They all got the cars with no front license plate. It's either one or the other. They've all done, certain directed conversations in the noise campaigns. So you start to see how fake your environment is. That's what is really a wake-up call when you're a targeted individual. You start to see how many people are really in on this, all for you. Literally, it's all a show put on in a fake world for you, to let you know what I mean, that you're being watched, that you're being monitored, that they're keeping up with everything you do, your phone calls, your texts, all of that's hit, all of it. When you leave your house, they're hopping on those phones, they're hopping on those phones. They're getting in real time updates and instructions in real time. So you got to ask yourself, like, why is there billions of dollars and resources and so much effort put into this program? And once you see that, law enforcement's involved, you got EMS and fire departments involved, them doing the psychological operation tactics too. You got city workers involved. there's you notice the pattern. It's like everybody who's in a position of authority is involved in this, and it's really evil and sick in nature. But they play the heroes in society, like the good guys, but deep down their whole role, the whole point of them being in those positions is actually to keep, the most highest people, those who are predestined to see the truth since birth, those who are put here to question societal norms and this system as a whole, this demonic system. That's their job, to have you under surveillance, to do psychological and run psychological tactics and game on you, and then turn society against you, claim you're mentally unstable, you're crazy, you're incompetent, and yet you're all of these things in a world that's built on lies and trickery and cults and crime and corruption. So if anything, I've noticed that evil people in groups hate the truth. That's one thing they hate the most. You can do all the crimes in the world and everybody's okay with that. If you're a criminal, you'll be accepted. If you're a drug dealer, if you're out here, doing high level crimes and stuff, oh, everybody's cool about that. Everybody's accepting about that. You know what I mean? You set people up, you lie on people, you make false police reports, you do identity theft, you do crimes on the dark web, and you steal people's information, and you do all these trafficking crimes. Everybody's okay with that. That's perfectly fine. But as soon as you speak the truth, now you're a problem. Now everybody has a problem with you. Now you're crazy. Now he's just weird. He's a loner. He's weird. People got a problem with you when you're telling the truth in a world that's built on lies. And that's what this is all about. It's all about a bunch of fake followers who reproduce only to create more debt slaves for the system that's in play today. A bunch of bootlickers. That's what this is about. So I just wanted to say in this video, you notice the fake shit. You know what I mean? You notice there's always a motherfucker at the house. There's always somebody. You got to live your life, and I live my life like I'm being watched by somebody, because you are. When you're a target individual, you are. And I'm aware of that. And that what I want to say about this is, I wouldn't even let no fear or these people bring down your energy or your frequency or target your emotional state, because at the end of the day, it's a double-edged sword. And I've noticed throughout my life, the majority of people who came against me and the majority of people who go against target individuals, they end up losing things in the long run. So at the end of the day, like, if you give people enough rope, they're going to hang themselves. So people are going to lose things. They're going to lose their possessions, their wealth, their family members. I've seen people who went against me throughout my life since I was younger. Some of them ain't even alive anymore. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people who go against me, they end up losing. You're going to lose more than you gain. So that little payout that they're giving y'all, that ain't shit compared to what's going to result in you targeting somebody who's with the Most High. So I just wanted to say in this video that you realize how fake all this is. Like, once you're a target individual, like, I believe you're truly, you may be living within the matrix, but you're truly, like, not a part of it. And that's why they target you, because they're trying to get you back in line to be a monkey see, monkey do follower like everybody else. And when you're not built like that, when you're cut from a cloth, like when you're authentic and you're not a follower and you're not afraid to be yourself, instead of being a fucking follower like everybody else, that's when you're a problem. When you speak the truth in a world full of lies, you're a problem.